real. And play some gigs. How did this happen? Booking a tour in the
Yes.
Netherlands, Bondo.
Yeah, I'm so excited. So I went on this trip back in May for this foundation called Beyond Music. And met a bunch of artists from all over the world, and one of the artists that I'm going to be playing shows with, she's from the Netherlands.
Oh,
Ellie
really?
Kellner. So we're going to play shows together.
Okay,
So-
Ellie
Yeah.
Kellner. So this is somebody you met. You went and did this Beyond Music thing. It was in France, right? You were over there being fancy. I saw some pictures on your Instagram of how fancy you were.
I
The
ate
berets.
the best food.
Wine and
The best food and
cheese.
wine.
Oh yeah, you were telling me. Okay, so apparently France has good food and wine. You heard it here first from Bondo.
Yeah, I didn't eat cereal for 2 weeks. It was really weird.
Wow.
Okay, so that tells me in your average daily life, you are pounding the cereal. How many boxes do you have on hand at a given time?
Oh,
Do you have
gosh.
multiple? You have
Well,
options?
Yeah, it was
Mhm.
my birthday recently, and my
Aw.
dad sent me like a cardboard box of 20 boxes of oat squares.
20 boxes of oat squares. Okay,
Kidding.
that's such a good
Yeah.
cereal,
Oh,
oat
yeah.
squares,
Mhm.
because they have a little bit of sweetness to them,
That's the
don't they?
thing, is you don't expect it to have the sweetness, but then it's there.
It's honestly like a
It's
Heather
good.
Bond song, where you're in verse one,
Oh
it's
my
very
gosh.
acidic.
It's
And then
good
that
and good
chorus
for you.
hits with those sweet harmonies and lush instrumentation, and boy, it goes down smooth, Bondo. You know what I'm talking about. You've written whole records this way.
Not looking at her face like, why did I agree to this?
Well, it's not different than hanging out with me in regular life, so
That's true.
you can't
That's
act
true.
surprised.
It's the same.
Bondo, so you got to go to France and work with basically a collection of musicians from the whole world, right?
Yes.
They
yes.
drafted from the entire planet, like the NBA does now, the
Yeah,
International League.
That's right.
And Larry Klein produced it. This is a guy who was up for Producer of the Year last year, has won a bunch of Grammys throughout his day, including work with Joni Mitchell. What was it like working with a legend like Larry?
It was a dream.
Yeah?
He's amazing.
What's the
He's-
trick? How's he so good?
He is. Oh
I-
gosh.
Tell us!
I should ask him. Why are you so successful? No, he's just like, he's so talented and intuitive, and he's also just the most patient person I've ever been around.
Really?
Because he was having to, there were 23 artists from all different countries,
Uh-huh.
all in this room together. And usually when you're in the studio, it's like your band, or maybe,
Yeah, and that's plenty.
and that's enough.
Right. It is. That's
Yeah,
true.
so he was having to juggle like all of these artists plus the camera crews and people that were there as part of the Beyond Foundation team. So
Wow.
it was just, it was
So
crazy.
you guys showed up and you're like, we're gonna make a record. You didn't have any songs, right?
We did have the song.
You did have the songs. Okay, good.
Yes.
I'd be so stressed.
Yes.
I was gonna say, it sounds like you guys obviously like put it together and made it work. You had some songs you rolled in, you figured out how to put them together, how to produce them, who was gonna sing and play on what. Was that a lot of the discussion? Who's gonna
Yes.
do what thing?
Yeah, exactly. So he picked. There's a platform that you went on, and you picked someone from a different country, wrote a song together,
Mm-hmm.
and then Larry picked the songs that he wanted to go on the record.
Okay.
And then we get to the studio, and then if you're part of that song, you'll be part of the recording process. But then there were people that added stuff. So like there are instruments on some of my songs that weren't in the demo,
Mhm.
instruments I'd never heard of before.
Zither. Yeah, stuff like that. That my hurdy-gurdy machine, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, let's
Yeah,
see.
that one.
Let's. Thank you for playing along. Let's see if we can hear that in the track. So this is different. You and I. This is one that you did with Ellie, who you're about to go on tour of the Netherlands with. It's Ellie
Yes.
Kellner. Do you want to tell us anything about the making of it before we play it? Just like a little,
Sure,
little
yeah.
spoiler. What
Yeah,
do you got?
so we hadn't met in person, and I just sent her an idea, like an iPhone demo idea, and we went back and forth over. I had to download WhatsApp. I didn't have.
Oh,
that
you did?
yet.
Yeah,
So
international
that
stuff.
Was, that was how we communicated.
Okay.
And the whole album centers around the theme of empathy
Cool.
and love. So it's about bringing people together from different cultures, regardless of your background, like coming together through music and being empathetic towards each other. So
Wow.
this song is about that. It's about coming from different places and just finding a kindred spirit with someone you love.
How about that? All right.
Awesome. And this is the world premiere?
Yeah, I think
Yes, it is.
How about that?
So
we're
excited.
leading the world as per usual. Heather Bond and Ellie Kellner in advance of their Netherlands tour with Different, You and I on Lightning in the Morning. Pretty. 100, Heather Bond and Ellie Kellner, that tune called Different You and I. That is from a project that spanned many different nations, and even, of course, you gotta have a Nashville, Tennessee representative. Heather Bond in studio today, getting ready to head across the pond, tour in the Netherlands with Ellie Kellner, who you heard. So if you're streaming over there somewhere, get on out to one of the gigs. Bondo, as you're hearing it, that was a world premiere right there. The idea with the record was the idea that musically you'll be able to speak to each other even if you don't like speak the same language. Was that part of the big idea?
Yes.
Did it work?
Yes.
It seems like that did.
I think it did. Yeah. I mean, English was the universal language when we were recording.
Kind of lucked out there, didn't you? Yeah.
Pretty much everyone's speaking. I know they're like, how many languages do you speak? I'm like, oh, just the one.
I'm at 0.75. It's dubious on the one.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Just about a whole language right here. Oh, so yeah, Bondo, when you're making an album, it's like you gotta be sometimes brave in order to do takes in front of people. This is in front of a bunch of strangers. Did that have a certain weight or a pressure to it at all for you?
It did at first because I'd never seen anything like it with that many people in the room. It was a little intimidating, but then it was such a loving atmosphere.
Oh, that's cool.
That it was just, it was so encouraging. After anyone would leave the studio room, people would start applauding.
Really? Like, that's a wrap on Heather Bond. Hey! That sounds awesome. Nashville, let's institute this. This is a good idea.
I know. It's like, at first I was like, this is hilarious. Like, we're clapping after every person does something. But then it got really addictive, and we just were clapping all the time. And it just kind of made you excited to do stuff.
It would be, and I realize that's not what happened on the record, but I hope you guys at least considered having massive rounds of applause after every song. Just to let people know, hey, this is like a laugh track on a record. Like, hey, this is really good. You should appreciate it. Put it out again as a live album next year and just do that.
I should do.
I've heard that's not far off. Anyway, your thing, like, musically so intricate, so beautiful. You have been working on your own solo record as well. Let's not be completely selfless with your radio appearance, Heather Bond. We've been spinning a tune of yours called The Mirage for many moons. There's even a commercial made out of its melody, I feel like.
Awesome.
I don't even know how it happened. You do.
I do.
What's going on with your record, though? I know you've been working on it for a while. What's the
12
status?
years.
I'm
kidding. No, not that long.
She's losing
I'm
her
kidding.
mind. Okay.
No, a couple years. Yes, I am working. I have worked. We are finished with it finally. I can't believe
Let's
I
get
can
our
say that.
tenses right,
Yeah.
Bondo. I guess that's a wrap on Bondo. Congrats, Bondo.
It's too early for tenses. So we finished the record. Victor Krause produced it,
Yes.
and we're gonna put it out next year in 2020.
2020.
Don't know when, but 2020.
But it's done.
It's done.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
Feels
What
really good.
a feeling! I've got there, but you're in the band The Daybreaks,
Oh, yeah, by the
Bondo.
way.
You've been cutting some tracks with them. You're a busy gal, aren't you?
Yeah, I try to be.
What was the latest? You were cutting some tracks yesterday with The Daybreaks.
Yes,
And-
we are. Well, we don't know if we're gonna put out a record or singles, but we have a ton of songs that we are choosing from. So we recorded 2 new ones.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
they're
guys,
very cool.
man, you crushed it out at Live on the Green this
Yes.
year. Has the party sort of been in an afterglow moment since that? That was a really
Yeah.
fun
God,
evening.
that was the best night ever.
I
That
see those
was.
pictures posted, and it was like one of those golden sunsets right
Yes.
behind you.
Yeah, I loved our time slot because the sun was setting as we were playing.
Yeah, that was like
Sweet.
you really called in the favors there.
That that lineup, that whole 615 stage lineup was just
It was.
stellar from start
So
to finish.
fun.
Briston Maroney took the stage right before the Daybreaks, and then Them Vibes, which is kind of part of the extended family.
Yeah.
With the Daybreaks, and of course Bobby out at Pentaveret Studios, which we were lucky enough to actually kind of sit in on a session a couple weeks ago. It's a great spot out there, and
Awesome.
it just kind of has that family vibe. And it was,
Yeah, for sure.
it was. That night was just magical Live on the Green. That's
Yeah, it
out
was
of
so
all
great.
11 years that we've done it, that was one of my favorite nights.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
that's
right.
awesome.
Right now, let's go ahead and celebrate with one of your tunes as you head off across the pond, playing gigs in the Netherlands. We've got Heather Bond. This is a solo one, right?
That's right.
You got all sorts of projects. This is your own mind into the tune. Here it is, Heather Bond, The Mirage on Lightning in the Morning. All right.
You didn't say Bondo. across
You're
the
so
pond there.
busy. Oh, I didn't. Oh, I will after this. You want to just hang out? I have to take Bondo across the Bondo.